Hey artist, welcome to art class. Have you ever wanted to learn how to draw a car? Well, this week we are luckily going away from cars that look like this, sad little cars, to cars that look like this. And we are going to be talking about how to draw retro cars. I just said the word retro. That's R-E-T-R-O. That means cars that are vintage, cars that come from the 1950s and the 1960s, where they had these sleek lines and kind of bold, fun colors. And we are going to be talking about how to draw retro cars. This week, our learning target is I can practice drawing retro cars. Notice the word practice. That means this week is not your final artwork, but this week is all about familiarizing ourselves with how to draw a car that doesn't look like this, but looks something like these. And next week, we are going to take all of that practice and we are going to make it into a retro car collage. And this is the beginning of mine. This is not what you're going to do this week. This is coming next week. But I really like how it's coming along so far. I got my car in front, and then the background is like a retro sunset that's inspired by some pop art from that time. And this week is just all about learning how to draw our cars so that we'll be ready for next week. This week's guiding question is, how do I draw retro cars? Cars is plural, meaning we're going to learn how to draw more than just one car. Miss Wright, I'm going to teach you how to draw a Cadillac type car from the 50s. And then you guys are going to watch a video in the lesson with a guy who teaches you how to draw a Volkswagen or surf bus just like this. So I'll teach you how to draw this one, and he's going to teach you how to draw this one. You are going to create two different sketches. Not just one, two different sketches, one of each car. One Cadillac and one surf bus. If you want to create more than that, you can, but you just have to create two in this week's lesson. All right, guys, so what kind of things do you need to draw? You're going to need some computer paper or scrap paper, maybe from a sketchbook. You need a pencil, eraser. I like to have a pencil sharpener on hand, and then I have my colored pencils. Okay, guys, so we're going to learn how to draw this pink Cadillac. And since I've already drawn it, I'm going to put it right above where I'm working so I can reference it as I teach you guys. And y'all, here is a secret that I want to teach you guys today. With cars, with drawing cars, with drawing animals, with drawing houses, people, objects, really y'all, just about anything. It starts with shape. You might be thinking, I don't know what you mean. Shape are things like, well, we know, rectangle, square, you guys are smart. But you can actually build a drawing just by starting with the basics. Things like rectangle, square, triangle, that kind of stuff. So that's how we're going to start this Cadillac-inspired car today, our retro car. And on my paper, I don't want to draw an itty-bitty, teeny-tiny baby car so little that no one can even see. I want to draw a car that kind of fills the page. because when it comes time for you guys to make your collage next week, you're going to be making kind of a bigger drawing of your car, and you don't want to practice drawing it all small and then have to scale up next week. So we're going to try to draw as big as we can without going off our paper. Okay, this car, just noticing it, I want to observe it. It's kind of long and skinny. And then wherever the windows are, it kind of goes up like a trapezoid. A trapezoid is a shape almost like a rectangle, except that the edges angle in. So it has 4 sides and angles that angle in. And that's kind of the shape that is on top of my longer rectangle part of my car. All right, so let's first start with a rectangle. I'm making it pretty long and skinny, and I'm not doing anything fancy to it yet. I'm not even trying to draw all the curves and details. I'm literally just starting with a rectangle. Then I'm going to add my trapezoid in the middle, starting with the angle line. I don't want to go too far up and make it look too tall, but don't want to make it too short and look really shallow. Go straight over. This line is parallel with this line. That means lines that are like twins. If one goes this way, the other goes this way, right? So parallel lines. Angle it down, and there we go. Looking at this, I might extend this a little bit. It's always okay to fix things as you're drawing. Okay, so that is the basic. It's a one long rectangle with a trapezoid on top. What do you think we need next? If you're thinking the tires, then you are right. You're going to need tires. And even though I have a line right here, I'm still going to overlap to make my tires because I can always erase this line right here. Okay? And looking at it, I might make them just slightly smaller. So you're noticing that I'm kind of erasing as I go, and that's totally fine because I'm reacting to my drawing and I'm fixing things that I think could be better. But I'm not erasing so much and getting stuck. I never want to just sit with a drawing and get so frustrated that I can't move on. So if I'm erasing too much, that's not always a good thing. Okay, now it looks like a basic car, right? It looks like a cardboard cutout of a car, but we want this to look sleek and realistic. So now we're going to start adding more details. We're going to start with the main details, which is the windows and the car door. So the windows are almost like a mini trapezoid inside the other with a line in between. So I'm going to draw one line, just a few spaces down from this line. Look, it's another parallel line, lines that go the same direction. It's going to almost like mirror this line. That's another parallel line. Mirror that line. And here we go. I'm actually just going to bring it down right to this line. Okay, I don't want it one solid window. I want it to be 2. So I'm going to draw a vertical line and then another vertical line right there, another parallel line. And then right where I had drawn this teeny tiny line right here, I'm going to erase it so that now it kind of looks separate. So I have a window here and a window here. It's almost like we just cut that trapezoid in half. Okay, the car door is basically a rectangle, except this car door on this retro car has curved corners. So when we draw our rectangle, we want to curve the corners. Curve, just like that. Curve the corners. And this car door basically goes right underneath this window. Oh, another part of this window that I forgot is just we want kind of like a little triangle window right here. So I'm going to draw 2 parallel lines right there, going in that angle so that it kind of looks a little bit more detailed. And there we go. Okay. All right, another thing with the body of the car is that the front is going to be a little bit curved as well as the back, and we're going to hide some of our tire. So I'm going to erase the top here and erase this line. And then we'll do the front and the back. And if you look, it kind of just curves up, goes over, curves down, goes to the back, curves up, curves over, curves down. So I'm going to make a curve right here, horizontal line that's left to right, flat line, and curve it down. So now we're using some curve lines instead of just straight shapes and trapezoids. We want our car to look a little bit more curved, so that's why we're adding those details. Okay, go over, curve line up, over, curve line down, just like that. Okay, this front, I'm going to bring this here and curve the front. I'm getting rid of that sharp corner and I'm curving it around. Might even make it a little bit narrower here, like that. And I want to erase those corners. I don't need them anymore. Let's do the same thing to the back. Curve around. See how I just made a curve inside my rectangle? This is still pretty much a rectangle, except I'm now adding my curves because we are beyond just the shape stage that we started out. Remember, we started out with one long rectangle and a trapezoid on top. Then we added these little curve lines for the tires to hide the tops of the tires because you don't see that on a normal car. We added our windows that are basically like another trapezoid cut in half. We've added our car door with the curved corners. And that's how much we've gotten so far. So as you're watching this, you can replay this video and draw with me, or you can just watch it again, kind of whatever works for you. All right, guys, we're gonna add a bumper and some lights. This bumper kind of goes out curved like this and comes back around and goes right up here. Curve and come right back around. The light is literally just a curved line on the tip of, or on the edge of the car. Just like this, just like the letter C. In the back, I'm gonna add a light that kind of goes into the car, almost just like an oval. And then I wanna erase the line I don't need. We don't want lines all going through all of our drawings that we're adding on top because we want to make the car look realistic. Maybe a little circle, a little line, just some sort of detail. Okay, so now we're gonna add the inside of the tire, kind of like the tire rims. You can either just draw a circle again or just kind of like a curved line. Circle in the middle, and then I want to make almost, I can't think of, I guess I'm drawing the rim. I think that's the name of it. I want to say spokes, but I'm pretty sure that's for a wagon. So I'm going to draw curved lines, or I'm sorry, not curved lines, straight lines that go out like a sun from that dot in the middle for my tire. Circle, tiny circle in the middle. Radiating lines, lines that go out like sun rays. That's the detail of the car. Car tires. Okay, we're getting near the finish line before we're ready to start outlining and then color. I want to add a rear view mirror, which is just an oval right here at the corner of this window, and then a little line right here. Just make it a double line so that looks like the arm coming out. Then I want to add some lines going like kind of across my car. And what this does is it kind of adds some structure, makes it a little bit more sleek. And so we're gonna do one right here, kind of splitting the car, kind of starting here at the edge of the tire, above the tire, straight through the car door and to the end, or to the back. Make it a horizontal line, don't make it angled. Then right here, this one's gonna start here at the back window, angling down, not meeting here, just kind of angling down. I like to kind of draw mine fast so they look like they're not sketched down. You don't want to draw like that. Those are hairy line sketches. We want to make confident lines. This is a confident line. This is a line where you just don't know. And you don't want to make hairy lines because they don't look that great. Okay, all right, coming back. A line right here. And a little line just to designate the hood of the car going down like that. Just a few lines made my car look a little bit more sleek. There are a few details if you ever look at a vintage or a retro Cadillac of these kind of lines going through. So I'm going to start right here. Remember, no sketchy lines, confident lines. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. And I think that's it with my lines. All right, let's double check, make sure I've drawn all my lines. Oh, I need a car door handle, and that's just kind of like a little oval. One little bump right here. All right, let's see. All right, it looks like I've erased all the lines I don't need. Remember, I erased those corners. And I erased the tops of my tires, and now I'm ready to outline. And what I love about outlining is two things. It makes your drawing pop, number one, and number two, if there's anything that you didn't like or didn't look quite right, you can always just kind of draw it differently when you're outlining it. So right here, I'm going to just start here at the hood, or not the hood, at the top of my car. And I have my Sharpie. So I put the cap on the end so it doesn't roll off my table. And I have a scrap piece of paper underneath me so I'm not getting Sharpie on my table. If you don't have Sharpie, you can always use a black marker or a black color pencil. But Sharpie is a well worth it investment. They are awesome. And I'm just drawing right on top of my pencil lines. And next week when we are drawing our car, we are not going to use the same exact drawing that we made this week. The goal is to really practice. And if you're just using the same drawing that you made this week, you're really not getting enough practice with drawing cars and using contour line that we've been using in our lessons. So this week is practice. You may love your drawing and that's awesome, but next week you're going to make a brand new one and then you're going to be an expert. All right. Notice when I drew these lines right here, I kind of lifted the Sharpie up to make the end of that line not really with a dot, but to make it kind of just fade away, just like that. So there's a difference between a line like this and a line like that. That looks fast, that looks just straight and still. And we want this car to look like it can go fast. 1, 2, 3. 3 fast lines. All right, so you might think you're ready to color right here, but you are not. You want to take your eraser and erase all of your pencil lines really quick, holding your hand on the paper so that your paper's not crinkling up like this the entire time. And I love, love, love this part when after I've outlined, I erase my pencil lines and ooh, it just looks so clean and nice. And I don't need those pencil lines anymore anyway, so I'm gonna erase them. All right, I'm gonna color mine with a pink and reddish color because if you ever search a pink Cadillac, they're kind of famous for that pink color. If you do not like the pink color, you do whatever colors you want. But I would recommend using two colors that are kind of similar. So I have a red and a pink, and that just makes your car look a little bit more interesting than just making it one solid color. Okay guys, one note about when we're coloring. I'm not just going to color this totally in and make it solid. I actually want to add in a few highlights. So if you look at this car closely, do you guys see some white lines and white space kind of on the hood and right here above this line and on the edges? Well, those are just literally the white of the paper. I didn't add any color right there. So whenever I'm coloring, I want to maybe draw a line first so I know, oh, I'm going to leave that white. And that helps make the car look more shiny. It makes it look more sleek, and it almost makes it look like the sun is shining on it. It's not just one flat color. So you want to add in these white spaces, or really leave these white spaces alone when you are coloring. Okay, so I'm going to kind of point out where those are. I'm going to leave a little white strip, meaning it's just the white of my paper, right above that line that goes across my car, because a light would probably hit right there. On the top of my car door, I'm going to leave that white too, so I'm almost drawing a line to make a border. And I'm going to draw a line that goes right down right here, leaving this and this white. And when I'm coloring, I don't want to press down as hard as I can. I want to just color with a nice even pressure because I'm going to put pink back on top and almost blend my red and my pink. If I press super, super hard like that, then pink doesn't want to go on top. But if I kind of evenly color like that, then the pink actually wants to mix with the red. So there's kind of a difference. All right. Right here on the edge of my car door, I'm going to leave that white, kind of making a line, coloring from here to here. I'm going to color this whole part of this front of the car. And I'm going to bring the color down below the door. Okay, I'm going to color right here. All right, on the back of my car, I want this to be white. So I'm going to just draw that border line so I know, all right, I'm not going to color that in red because we want to keep the white of the paper. If you color this all red and you try to add white back on top, I promise you guys, it just won't work. It's not the same as leaving the white of your paper. So don't try to do white on top. See right here, I'm literally coloring, you can't even see it. So you have to leave the white of the paper. Okay, I'm gonna color this here. And I'm going to leave a little strip right here. Color this all. All right. Okay. Looking at this, it looks like my red is done and I'm ready to pick up my pink. All right. Same thing, just a different color. I'm going to leave this white. I need to sharpen it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to leave the top or underneath my windows white. Bring this right into the red here. Okay, right here I'm going to leave this corner or this triangle white. Colored this pink. So I just drew a triangle and I'm not touching that. I'm not covering or coloring it up. I'm going to leave this white. All right, don't miss any spots. This might needs a little bit more color right here. Okay, I put the red down, I put the pink down. Now I'm going to put some pink on top of the red to kind of unify those colors, make them a little bit more blended. So I'm just doing just a quick layer on top of the red to unify them. Being careful to not go over all those white spaces. I just took so much time and so much care to leave white. All right, the last thing is to pick up my black colored pencil and do my tires. I do want to leave some white space on my tires, so I'm going to draw a curved line going around. And then I'm going to color the rest of it black around the edge. I'm leaving that middle part of my tire white. And that just keeps adding to a little bit more of the detail of our car. Okay, tires are almost done. I'm going to add a little bit of black in with the spokes, just kind of on the edges of the lines. Okay, and then the window. So if you look at this car, it kind of has this line angled through it with a little white line right there. That kind of makes it look like a reflection in the window. So instead of just coloring the window completely back black, it's way more interesting to kind of have some reflections going on like that. So we're going to learn how to draw something like this in here. So I want to make the line continuous between the two windows. So kind of taking my pencil, I'm going to draw starting here to here and stop. I'm going to draw a line that angles down, come back up here, skipping over a little bit, continue this angle line, and draw a line right here. So I just kind of drew a line through both of the windows without drawing over this middle pink part. Then I'm going to color in everywhere that is below the line. And again, this is just a reflection. It just makes our car a little bit more realistic instead of just coloring our windows all black. All right, let's check. Are we finished? All right. I think it looks almost done. I'm adding in a little bit more color where I colored too light. So now's a good chance where you can kind of check. Remember, this is our practice. It does not have to be perfect. It's always good to go back and kind of see how you did. Okay, I think this looks really good. So once you have drawn your Cadillac, you can then draw your VW or surf bus. And remember, you're going to be watching a video to learn how to draw this. I will say in the video when he colors this entire bottom blue, but I want you to leave some white space when you are adding your color, just like we learned together on here, and include that reflection in these 4 windows instead of the 2 windows. And then you can add a surfboard on top, and he makes it super simple and very clear. So I have my 2 sketches, I have my Cadillac, I have my VW bus, and I have met my learning target. I can practice drawing retro cars. All right, guys, so you're going to make your 2 drawings. You do not have to take photos of them and email them to me this week. This week is all just for you to help you get ready for next week's retro car collage. If you have any questions, please just message me or email me. Good luck!